Let me tell you something, you don't get ahead in life by being the nice guy who's always bending over backward for people. Being nice isn't the same as being kind. Niceness often comes at the expense of your time, your goals, and even your respect. It's time to stop being nice and start being real. People will treat you how you allow them to treat you. If you're the type who's constantly saying yes to things you don't want to do, people will start assuming that's your default. It's not their fault, it's human nature. They see you as someone who will bend, someone who will compromise. And they take advantage of that. Standing up for yourself means putting a stop to that behavior. You have to teach people how to treat you. When you start setting boundaries, don't expect everyone to clap for you. Some will push back because they've gotten used to taking advantage of your niceness. That's fine. Let them push you, stand firm. Standing up for yourself isn't about being rude or confrontational. It's about showing respect for your own time, energy, and worth. Think of it this way, if you don't stand up for yourself, who will? The people who love you may want to protect you, but even they can't fight all your battles. At some point, you have to be your advocate. You have to look in the mirror and say, I deserve better than this. Being a pushover doesn't make you likable. It makes you invisible. People respect those who respect themselves. If you're always agreeable, always accommodating, people stop seeing you as an individual with needs and opinions. They see you as a utility, something they can use when convenient. Standing up for yourself also creates clarity in your relationships. When you draw a line, you see who's willing to respect it. The ones who genuinely care about you will understand your boundaries, while the ones who don't will fade away. And that's a blessing. Standing up for yourself isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle change. It requires practice and consistency. There will be moments when you'll second-guess yourself, but stay the course. Every time you assert yourself, you're strengthening your sense of self-worth. Let's be real, approval is a drug, and too many of us are addicted to it. From childhood, we're taught to seek validation, good grades, pats on the back, likes on social media. But here's the problem, living for approval puts your happiness in someone else's hands. And let me tell you, people are fickle. One day they love you, the next day they forget you exist. When you seek approval, you end up molding yourself into something you're not. You start acting, talking, and living in ways that you think will make others happy. But at what cost? The more you chase approval, the further you drift from your true self. Approval is temporary, but authenticity is forever. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones who follow the crowd, or are they the ones who stand out? True respect doesn't come from people pleasing. It comes from being unapologetically yourself. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you step into your power. Seeking approval also makes you vulnerable to manipulation. People can sense when you're desperate for their validation, and some will use it against you. They'll withhold compliments or affection to keep you in line. But when you stop caring about their approval, you take away their power over you. When you live for approval, you give others the steering wheel to your life. You let them dictate your choices, your priorities, and even your happiness. But when you take that wheel back, you start living on your terms. You do what feels right to you, not what looks good to others. Approval is fleeting, but self-respect is permanent. The world doesn't need more nice people who are afraid to rock the boat. It needs bold, authentic individuals who are unafraid to be themselves. When you stop seeking approval, you become unstoppable. Your values are your internal compass. They guide your decisions, your relationships, and your life's direction. But when you're too focused on being nice, you start compromising on those values. You say yes to things that go against your principles because you don't want to offend anyone. Over time, this erodes your sense of self. Being clear about your values means knowing what matters most to you. It's about identifying your non-negotiables the things you're unwilling to compromise on no matter what. This clarity gives you strength. It allows you to make decisions confidently, even when others don't agree. When you live by your values, you attract people who align with them and repel those who don't. This might mean losing some friendships or relationships, but that's okay. It's better to be alone than surrounded by people who don't respect your beliefs. Living by your values doesn't mean forcing them on others. It means honoring them in your own life. For example, if honesty is a core value for you, don't engage in gossip or deceit, even if it's an easy or popular thing to do. Your actions should reflect your principles. Values also act as a filter for opportunities. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and that's fine. When you're clear about your values, you can say no to things that don't align with your purpose. This focus prevents you from spreading yourself too thin. Being clear about your values also strengthens your self-esteem. When you act in alignment with your beliefs, you feel good about yourself. This inner confidence radiates outward, making you a magnet for like-minded individuals. Compromising your values might make you nice at the moment, but it will make you miserable in the long run. Be true to yourself, and the rest will fall into place. Gratitude feels nice, but respect is essential. People often confuse the two, thinking that if someone thanks them, it means they're valued. But here's the truth: gratitude can be superficial. Respect is deeper. It's the acknowledgement of your boundaries, your worth, and your presence. When you focus too much on being nice, you settle for gratitude and miss out on earning respect. Demanding respect doesn't mean being aggressive or rude. It means showing up in a way that commands attention and consideration. It's about how you carry yourself, your tone, your posture, and your words. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one else will. When you walk into a room, your energy should communicate that you're not someone to be dismissed. Nice people often go unnoticed because they blend in too much. They shrink themselves, thinking it's the polite thing to do. But shrinking doesn't make you likable. It makes you invisible. Respect comes when you stand tall, take up space, and own your value. Stop being afraid to voice your opinions or take credit for your work. Respect yourself first, and others will follow. When you let people walk all over you, they might thank you for your helpfulness, but inside they see you as a doormat. And here's the kicker: they might even start resenting you because your niceness makes them feel guilty or superior. Demanding respect means putting into that dynamic. It's telling people, this is my line and I won't let you cross it. Respect isn't about how much you give to others. It's about how you treat yourself. If you're constantly overextending yourself to make others happy, you're sending a message that your time and energy are limitless and therefore cheap. But when you set boundaries, you teach people to value your contributions. Gratitude fades, but respect sticks. Someone might thank you for a favor and forget it the next day. But when they respect you, it changes how they interact with you forever. They approach you differently, speak to you differently, and even think about you differently. Respect doesn't come from asking nicely, it comes from showing strength. Stop chasing thank yous and start commanding respect. When you prioritize being respected over being liked, you gain both clarity and control in your relationships. How many times have you felt the need to justify a simple no? You don't want to go out tonight, and suddenly you're giving a 5-minute monologue about why you're too tired or busy. Let me tell you something: over-explaining is a trap. It makes you look unsure of yourself, and it opens the door for people to argue with you. When you over-explain, you're essentially asking for permission, but you don't need anyone's approval of your life. No is a complete sentence. I can't is a valid excuse. You don't owe anyone a detailed breakdown of your decisions, especially if those decisions are about protecting your peace or prioritizing your goals. Think about why you feel the need to explain yourself. Is it because you're afraid of being misunderstood? Or maybe you want to avoid conflict. Whatever the reason, over-explaining usually comes from a place of insecurity. The more confident you are in your choices, the less you'll feel the need to justify them. Over-explaining also makes you an easy target for manipulation. When you give too much information, people can use it against you. They'll poke holes in your reasoning or guilt trip you into changing your mind. The less you say, the harder it is for them to argue with you. You have the right to make decisions without broadcasting your thought process. If someone doesn't understand your choices, that's on them, not you. Your job isn't to make everyone comfortable, it's to stay true to yourself. Simplicity is power. When you keep your explanations short and sweet, you project confidence and clarity. Over-explaining drains your energy. Every time you go into unnecessary detail, you're spending emotional and mental energy that could be better used elsewhere. Save that energy for things that matter, like your goals, passions, and personal growth. The next time you're tempted to over-explain, pause and ask yourself, do I need to say all this? Most of the time, the answer is no. Say what you mean what you say, and leave it at that. Your time is your most precious resource. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. Yet, when you're too focused on being nice, you end up giving your time away like it's free. You say yes to things you don't care about, spend hours fixing other people's problems, and leave no time for yourself. That has to stop. Start by looking at how you spend your day. How many hours are dedicated to things that move you closer to your goals? How much time do you waste on people who don't appreciate your efforts? Recognizing the value of your time is the first step toward taking control of it. When you value your time, others will too. If you're always available, people start to assume you have nothing better to do. But when you set limits and protect your schedule, you send a message that your time is worth something. It's not about being rude, it's about being selective. Think of your time as a bank account. Every hour is like $1. Would you spend your money on things that don't bring you any value? Then why are you spending your time on activities or people that drain you? Budget your time wisely and invest it where it matters most. Nice people often feel guilty for prioritizing themselves, but guilt is a trap. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. If you don't set aside time for your growth and happiness, you'll burn out. And when you're burned out, you're no good to anyone, not even the people you're trying to be nice to. Valuing your time also means learning to delegate or say no when necessary. You can't do everything and you shouldn't try. Let go of the idea that you have to be everything for everyone. Focus on what's important to you and let the rest go. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Make sure yeses are worth it. Protect your time fiercely because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Conflict isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. The truth is when you focus too much on being nice, you avoid conflict at all costs. You hold back your opinions, suppress your feelings, and go along with things you don't agree with just to keep the peace. But let me tell you something, peace built on silence and resentment isn't real peace. It's a ticking time bomb. Healthy conflict is a sign of respect. When you're willing to address an issue, it shows that you value the relationship enough to have tough conversations. Ignoring problems doesn't make them go away, it just lets them fester. And over time, those small unresolved issues turn into big ones. Conflict doesn't have to mean yelling, arguing, or being disrespectful. It's about being honest, direct, and solution-oriented. Instead of avoiding confrontation, approach it with the mindset of fixing the problem, not attacking the person. When you address conflict constructively, you grow stronger as an individual and strengthen your relationships. Being nice often means being passive, but passivity can be damaging. It lets people cross your boundaries without consequences. And when you finally reach your breaking point, the explosion is bigger than it needed to be. Address issues early when they're small and manageable. Conflict teaches you about yourself and others. When you stand your ground, you learn what you're willing to fight for and what you're willing to let go. You also see how the other person reacts under pressure. Some relationships thrive in the face of conflict, while others fall apart, and that's okay. Don't confuse avoiding conflict with being kind. Real kindness is being honest even when it's uncomfortable. It's telling someone the truth they need to hear, not the lie they want to hear. When you face conflict head on, you show strength, integrity, and courage. The next time you attempt to stay silent to avoid conflict, ask yourself, is this worth sacrificing my peace of mind for? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Speak your truth, stand your ground, and let the chips fall where they may. No is one of the most powerful words in your vocabulary, but it's also one of the hardest to say. Nice people struggle with this because they don't want to disappoint anyone. They think saying no makes them selfish or unkind. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything isn't kindness, it's self-neglect. Saying no isn't about being mean, it's about being honest. When you agree to something you don't want to do, you're not doing anyone a favor. Your resentment will show, even if you try to hide it. A half-hearted yes is far worse than an honest no. When you say no, you're creating space for what truly matters. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that could uplift you. Prioritize your time, energy, and mental health over other people's temporary satisfaction. Saying no also builds respect. People may not like it at first, but they'll appreciate your honesty in the long run. It sets a precedent that your time and energy are valuable, which makes others think twice before making unreasonable demands. If guilt creeps in when you say no, remind yourself of this: you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be everything to everyone. The more you overextend yourself, the less you have to give to the people and causes that truly matter to you. Practice saying no without over-explaining. A simple "I can't right now" or "that doesn't work for me" is enough. You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation. The more you practice, the easier it gets, and the less guilt you'll feel. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to yourself. And that's the kind of self-love and respect that will carry you far in life. Have you ever noticed how often nice people say sorry? Sorry for bothering you. Sorry I didn't respond sooner. Sorry for being upset. Stop that. Apologizing for things that aren't your fault weakens your presence and makes you seem unsure of yourself. An apology should be reserved for when you've done something wrong. If you're constantly apologizing for things outside your control, you're not being kind, you're undermining yourself. People will start to see you as someone unsure, insecure, and easy to dismiss. Apologizing unnecessarily also shifts the blame onto you. If someone else is at fault or the situation is neutral, why are you taking responsibility? It's not your job to smooth over every awkward moment or inconvenience. Let people own their part of the situation. There's a difference between being polite and being a pushover. Saying "excuse me" or "thank you" is polite. Saying "sorry for everything" is unnecessary. Replace those apologies with confidence. Instead of "sorry for the delay," say "thank you for your patience." See the difference? Apologizing less doesn't make you rude, it makes you assertive. It shows that you value yourself enough not to diminish your presence with constant excuses. People respect those who stand tall, not those who constantly shrink. If you struggle with over-apologizing, start small. Catch yourself before saying sorry and ask if it's really necessary. Over time, you'll break the habit and feel more confident in your interactions. Stop apologizing for being yourself. Stop apologizing for having boundaries. Stop apologizing for taking up space. You have just as much right to be here, to speak up, and to exist as anyone else. Being needed feels good, doesn't it? It strokes your ego, makes you feel important, and gives you a sense of purpose. But let me be real with you. Being needed and being valued are two very different things. When people need you, they're thinking about what you can do for them. When they value you, they're thinking about who you are. Being too nice often puts you in the needed category. You're the go-to person for favors, the one who always says yes and the one who's always available. But ask yourself, are these people showing you the same effort in return? Do they stick around when you don't have something to offer? The truth is, people will take advantage of your kindness if you let them. They'll call you when they need a ride, but will they call you just to check on you? They'll ask for your help, but will they offer theirs when you're struggling? If the answer is no, then you're not being valued, you're being used. Stop tying your worth to how much you can do for others. Your value doesn't come from your utility. It comes from your character, your skills, your heart, and your presence. When people truly value you, they appreciate you even when you have nothing to give. Being needed can trap you in a cycle of overextension. You start to believe that your only worth comes from how much you can provide. And that's when burnout hits, when you're giving and giving and giving and giving, nothing left for yourself. Break that cycle by focusing on relationships that uplift and inspire you. Start setting boundaries with people who only show up when they need something. It's not about cutting everyone off, it's about prioritizing mutual respect and effort. When you stop over giving, you'll find out who's truly there for you and who was just there for what you could do for them. The day you stop confusing being needed with being valued is the day you reclaim your power. Choose relationships where you're appreciated for who you are, not just for what you can do. Too many of us hesitate to make decisions because we're waiting for someone else to approve them. We second guess ourselves, ask for endless opinions, and worry about how others will perceive our choices. That's the nice trap, always needing external validation before you move forward. But here's the truth. Your life doesn't need anyone else's permission. Owning your decisions is about confidence. It's saying, this is my choice, and I stand by it. It doesn't mean you'll always be right. It means you're willing to take responsibility for your path. And let me tell you, there's nothing more liberating than trusting yourself. Seeking approval keeps you stuck. You spend so much time worrying about what others think that you never move forward. And let's be honest, no matter what you do, someone will have something negative to say. You can't please everyone, so stop trying. Focus on pleasing yourself. When you constantly seek validation, you give away your power. You're saying, I don't trust myself enough, so I need you to tell me I'm okay. But you don't need anyone else's approval to live your life. Your instincts, experience, and faith are more than enough. Making bold decisions can be scary, but it's also where growth happens. When you step out of your comfort zone and take charge, you learn what you're capable of. Even if you make mistakes, those mistakes become lessons that guide you toward better choices. Start small. Make a decision today without asking for anyone else's input. It could be as simple as choosing a new hobby or as big as walking away from a toxic situation. Whatever it is, trust yourself and move forward with confidence. Remember, the most successful people aren't the ones who play it safe. They're the ones who take risks, make bold moves, and own their decisions. Be one of those people. This might be the hardest lesson for a nice person to learn. You have to put yourself first. And know that doesn't make you selfish, it makes you smart. If you're constantly putting others' needs ahead of your own, you'll end up depleted, unfulfilled, and resentful. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Prioritizing yourself means setting boundaries and sticking to them. It's saying, this is my time, going to use it how I see fit. It's choosing to spend your energy on things that bring you joy, growth, and peace instead of things that drain you. When you prioritize yourself, you show others how to treat you. People will respect your time and energy when they see that you respect it yourself. But if you're always bending over backward to accommodate everyone else, they'll take it as a sign that your needs don't matter. Self-care isn't just about bubble baths and spa days. It's about making tough choices, like cutting out toxic relationships, saying no to things that don't align with your goals, and creating a life that reflects your values. It's about doing the hard work to ensure your well-being. Nice people often feel guilty for putting themselves first, but guilt is just a symptom of old habits dying. You've been conditioned to believe that your worth comes from how much you do for others. But the truth is, your worth is inherent. You don't have to earn it by sacrificing yourself. Start by carving out time for yourself every day. Use that time to reflect, recharge, and pursue your passions. Whether it's an hour of quiet in the morning, a workout, or working toward a dream, make it non-negotiable. That's how you build a life that nourishes you. When you prioritize yourself, you become a better version of yourself, a version that's stronger, happier, and more capable of making an impact. So stop apologizing for putting yourself first. You deserve it. When you're too focused on being nice, you fall into the trap of people pleasing. You say what others want to hear, agree to things you don't believe in, and bend over backward to make everyone happy. But in doing so, you lose something vital, your authenticity. Relationships built on people pleasing are shallow, one-sided, and ultimately unsatisfying. Authenticity is the foundation of meaningful connections. When you're true to yourself, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for the version of you that's trying to fit their mold. But when you're always people-pleasing, you never give others a chance to see the real you. People-pleasing also breeds resentment. You suppress your own needs, wants, and feelings to keep others happy, but over time, that suppression turns into bitterness. You start to feel unappreciated and taken for granted, and rightfully so. But remember, it's not their fault. It's yours for not setting boundaries. The fear of rejection drives people pleasing. You're so scared of losing someone's approval that you compromise yourself to keep it. But here's the reality. If someone only values you because you cater to them, they're not worth keeping in your life. Real relationships thrive on mutual respect, not one-sided servitude. Stop worrying about being liked by everyone. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay. What matters is that the right people, the ones who truly care about you, will respect your honesty and authenticity. The rest can fall away, and you'll be better off without them. Start small. The next time someone asks for something you don't want to give, politely decline. Practice being honest about your thoughts and feelings, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Over time, you'll find that being true to yourself is far more fulfilling than trying to please everyone. People-pleasing is a habit, but habits can be broken. When you stop prioritizing others' opinions over your truth, you'll prevent us for authentic, fulfilling relationships that truly enrich your life. Kindness is a strength, not a weakness, but too often it's mistaken for the latter. When you're kind, people sometimes assume you're a pushover, someone they can manipulate or take advantage of. And if you're constantly nice without boundaries, you unintentionally reinforce that perception. True kindness isn't about letting people walk all over you. It's about showing compassion and understanding while maintaining your self-respect. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can help others without sacrificing your well-being. Kindness and assertiveness go hand in hand. When you lack boundaries, your kindness loses its value. People start to see it as something they're entitled to rather than something you choose to give. And when kindness becomes an obligation instead of a gift, it stops feeling rewarding for you and starts feeling draining. Being kind doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything. It's okay to set limits and say no when you need to. Setting boundaries is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself and others. It prevents resentment, ensures mutual respect, and creates healthy relationships. Kindness with boundaries earns respect. When you're firm but fair, people understand that your kindness is intentional and genuine, not a weakness to exploit. They'll appreciate your generosity more because they know it comes from a place of strength, not obligation. Redefine kindness for yourself. It's not about overextending, overgiving, or overcompensating. It's about showing empathy and care while staying true to your values, about giving what you can, not what you think you must. Remember, you're not responsible for fixing everyone's problems or making everyone happy. Your kindness is a gift, not a requirement. When you see it that way, you'll stop equating with weakness and start wielding it as the powerful force it truly is. Your time and energy are your most valuable resources, but when you're too nice, you give them away freely to anyone and everyone who asks. You let others dictate your schedule, priorities, and even your mood. And before you know it, your day is filled with tasks, favors, and obligations that don't serve you. Taking control of your time and energy starts with realizing this. Not everything and everyone deserves your attention. Just because someone asks for your help doesn't mean you're obligated to say yes. Your time is finite, and how you spend it determines the quality of your life. Nice people often struggle to say no because they feel guilty. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that could uplift you. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your time. It's the most precious thing you have. Start by setting priorities. What truly matters to you? What aligns with your goals and values? Once you know the answers, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and obligations that don't fit. Remember, every yes you give should be intentional, not automatic. Taking control of your energy means being mindful of who and what you allow into your life. Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, or with those who drain and discourage you? Choose wisely, because your environment has a profound impact on your mindset and motivation. Protecting your time and energy doesn't make you selfish, it makes you smart. When you're intentional about how you spend your resources, you have more to give to the things and people that truly matter. You're not just busy, you're productive, focused, and fulfilled. Reclaiming your time and energy is an act of self-respect. It's saying, I value myself enough to prioritize what's best for me. And when you start living that way, you'll find that life becomes not just manageable, but meaningful.